Okay, what's up, folks? Today is December the 7th, 2024, and I'm going to rewrite a program that I just made. It's so that you can make horizontal lines on a chart using the right button click. This was an interesting one, and it took me several hours to do. So let's see if I can get regurgitated to you guys in less than about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But this was a question from the Tradestation forums, and I think it was a good one. So I took on the task of trying to make it work and got it to work. So this is kind of cool. So if you right click on the chart, let's open this up. All right, if you right click on this chart, it'll give you a blue line at the bottom of this bar, right? So if I'm on the same bar and the line of the same bar, will right click on the chart, and then it will give me a red line at the top of the bar. Anywhere that I am on the chart, if I'm below the price, if I right click, I get a blue line to the bottom of the bar. And if I'm above it, right click, I get a red line to the top of the bar. I'm not really sure exactly what the person was looking for, but I think it's kind of cool. Right click, top of the bar, same area, right click, bottom of the bar. Okay, so I think it's kind of cool. So let's, I want to take this off, and then we're going to, like I said, make that from scratch, and I'll kind of help you understand exactly what I did, why I did it, and hopefully it'll help you guys program your stuff. Okay, so we're going to open up a show me. This will just be TS delete 12.7 v2. Like I said, this is the second time at it. Some of the times when I do this, I'll try to go 2 or 3 times at it so I can get it to you pretty quickly. But I'm feeling pretty confident. Worst case scenario, I'll just pull up the other version and we'll just call it a day. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and employ a price series provider. The reason is because as we look through this data, we want to be able to identify what the high is and the low is of each individual bar. So we'll go to our toolbox, we'll pull up price series provider. And then when we click on price series provider, now we're going to go to the properties, and then we'll manage those properties. So we do want to load it. Yes. I'm going to change the name to PSP. And for the interval, we're on a 5-minute time frame. So you can change the inputs to automatically update this, but I'm just going to put 5-minute time frame is a bar. Interval type is minute. Range will go back, I don't know, 10 days or so. So we'll go back days, and we'll go back 10 days. Obviously all of this is up for your modification. Okay, all right, so now that we have the price series provider loaded, essentially we need to check, we need to be able to identify what area we clicked on the chart, and then we're going to we need to identify the high and the low of that bar. Okay, so there's something useful in the charting hosts. You go to toolbox, open up charting hosts. This is where you find anything about the chart itself when you're clicking on it or you're acting on it. Okay, so we're going to change this to C host. That's what I call it. All right, and now we go to the events. If we have an event, we're going to do a chart click, double click in there, left mouse click, double click in there. Okay, so now we are using the args of that clicked event, and we're going to say, all right, well, how far back did we go? So these are our options when we type in args. Args dot what? Args dot study value we're going to use, and time we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to click on time. So time will give us we're going to right click on that and then show you here. No, that's not what I wanted. We'll right click on the chart element, click events, and time will give you a date time of the X location in the chart. Okay, since it gives you a date time, that's great. We can take the date time and match that up against our price series provider time. Okay, so if the time that is represented by the click that we did, if that time is equal to our price series provider time, then we want to take an action. So we kind of need to do a little something different. we're going to have an index because we need to go through our price series provider. Okay, so for IDX equals PS IDX equals 0 to price series provider dot count -1. We're going to begin. What are we going to do? We're going to look to see if that time is equal. So if the args time is equal to our price series provider dot time of that index, whatever index we're on, then we're going to take an action. And what action do we want to take? So, all right, we want to, I think this is where I had another method because we need to identify if we're above the click or below the click. Okay, so if we get this, we're checking our price series provider against the time. And if the time does happen to be the same time, then if our click is above this time, so if our click, which would be the args.study value, that study value is going to give you the price of wherever your click is. So if the study value is greater than the price series provider, so now we're in the price series provider, we're in it at whatever index we're at. Okay, so if the study value is greater than price series provider dot high at that index, that same index, and you have to reference this index every time, otherwise you're going to get something that's the most current index, and that would not be right. If the args value is greater, so if your mouse click is greater than the high of that bar, then you want to draw a line. Then begin. We're going to go ahead and put a horizontal line in here as well. Horizontal line HL. And to get that horizontal line drawn, we need to using EL system.drawing, using EL system. And one thing that I kind of started doing here recently is instead of pulling up the whole namespace there, just putting the namespace before the horizontal line or whatever object we're doing. So I may go back and change that later, but so for now we're going to begin to draw our horizontal line. We need to have a HL, which is our horizontal line, equals horizontal line dot create, and then we just need the price level. So what is the price level going to be? If the request was that if you click above the bar, that the price is above the bar, the line is drawn above the bar. If you click below it, then the price is drawn below the bar. All right, so we want to capture the high. So that be that PSP dot high of that IDX, like that. And then drawing objects, add that horizontal line. And since we're going to do the high, we're going to assume that that's maybe selling pressure. So we're going to do HL. We'll do an N there, but then prior to the line being drawn, it'll be HL dot color equals color dot red. Okay. And if that click happens to be below the low, then it's going to be blue. So if our click is less than the low, it's going to be blue. Now I actually did something quite a bit different when I made this just a bit ago, so I'm wondering if this works. This might not work. I might have to rethink this a little bit, and that's fine. But so we also wanted it to be a right click, right? So if args.button, the button that you're clicking on, equals, and I think we had to do something like charts. go here and see what the dictionary says. You type in button, you get a couple options here. Mouse button, platform, mouse button, platform.mouse button. I think I did this a little bit differently, but platform dot mouse button dot right. Okay, so if you clicked on the right mouse button, then begin. If you click on the right mouse button, then you're going to begin all this stuff. You're going to come into price series provider and you're looking for whether or not you're over the high or the low. Okay. That can't be all. IDX. That can't be all, because I made several. I had a couple of methods and I went another roundabout way, but let's see if this works. Symbol property, so we need to go for our PSP. Make sure that we add that symbol property, load true, yes, symbol. It's just gonna be whatever symbol that we're currently on. Verify that, come back over here, B2. What? Oh, you know what happened, right? So we essentially drew a line for every single bar because we went through all of our price series provider. So we need to stop it. So if we do, so as we're going through here, if we got a right mouse button click and then we're coming through our price series provider, if we do have that we're above the, if we find the time and we happen to find that we are above the line and we draw this, then we need to just go ahead and return. We need to get out of this method. So if we're over, then we'll draw the horizontal line, then we'll return. If we're under, then we'll draw the horizontal line and then we'll return. And then else, there's nothing really else to be said. So we verify that, come over here, right click. That's not right. Right click here. That's not right either. Let's see. All right, so we came into here. And guys, programming is not a perfect science. I mean, it kind of is, but there's a lot of creativity too. So if you think you can get everything that you do on the first chance, then you're probably a genius and you need to be doing more than programming. Or maybe not. Programming is very rewarding. Okay, so when you click on the chart, you're going to take the if the mouse button was a right mouse button click, you're going to look through the price series provider, and when you look through the price series provider, you're matching up the time of the price series provider against the time of where you clicked. And if the study value, so in other words, where you clicked on the chart, is greater than the price series provider high of that index, then you're going to draw the line using the level of the price series provider high. This should be low. I see that. And then you're going to change the color, and then you're going to draw the object, and then you're going to return. So let's verify that. Come over here. All right, so there's a right click. There's a right click. Bu- 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 bu. Like I said, I use a lot more methods than the other one, but this should work fine too. So I'm going to make this work. All right, so let's make sure that our price series provider. If we've got a new click, if the button was a right mouse button, then begin for index 0 to PSP count -1. If args.time, I feel like it's something with the args.time. So if the time object is equal to the time of the index, then well, I see one problem. If the time is equal to the time of the index, I said then, and then I'm doing this. I didn't give an option for this, so there needs to be another begin end. I don't know how you did that. Begin end, so that gives me an opportunity to execute both of those. Okay, so if the time is the same, then we're looking to see if the study value is greater than the high. Then okay, try that. Boom. Okay, there's our high, and boom, there's our low. Very good, very good. I mean, it's small things sometimes, and let's just for comparison, and let's pull this over. Okay, so if I right click under here, then it should draw a line right here at the bottom. Right click, there it is. If I right click above this one, it should draw one at the top. Right click, boom. All right, now if I turn on this one that I made here prior, then it should give me 2 lines, right? So if I right click above this line, it should give me 2, right? So that line there is essentially 2 lines. That's why it looks darker. And we can confirm that by just dragging one away. Well, it says it's locked. Unlock it. Drag one away, you see I have 2 lines there. That's because one study drew one line and the other study drew the other line. So now let me show you the difference between the 2 scripts. And this is how and why I program every day. Because this looks nice and smooth and uniform. What I created earlier was this one. And look at well, I also included the designer generated code, but I had to make 2 methods to create the same thing that I did over here with one smooth method. And that's why I program every day, because you learn a little something that prevents you from that just makes you more efficient. Okay, so I did say that I wanted to get rid of these namespaces if I could. In order to do that, I need to allow the drawing objects to reference the namespace when they're called upon. And I think that would be something like eosystem.drawing.objects.horizontal line for that. And then let me see if I can get rid of this. Nope. Okay, and so also I have to do the same thing here. eosystem.drawing.objects.horizontal line, because it's essentially saying every time I'm calling on this horizontal line object, it needs to have a reference to drawing object. And then drawing here might, so I just verified it, no issues, but I think drawing might need, I think color might need drawing, and it does, right? Color needs drawing, so this would be el system dot drawing dot color dot red. Copy, paste, color. Verify that, no issues. Okay, and now the last one remaining is the largest or the most used one is el system. Let's get rid of that and verify that. No errors. Okay, so I can come over here. I'm gonna delete that one. This is from the previous study. All right, I can just get rid of that altogether. So now I have this nice, cool little script with just this simple code. Right click, left click. Excuse me, right click, right click, right click, right click. From under, from under, from under, from under, from under. Very good. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Under 20 minutes. Like I said, it took me about 4 hours to figure this all out. So I hope you got your money's worth. By that, I mean, be sure to subscribe, share the video, and put some comments or something. I mean, come on. Come on. It's free 3,000. All right. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.